Heyo! My name is Sarah, and as you can see, I have shelves! Woo! But that is a huge accomplishment for me, so I can finally put my books on there. So yeah. Besides that, today's book review is on Obsidio! You can't see it there! You can see it! Obsidio! Third book and final book in the Illuminate trilogies by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Yay! So, let's get straight to non-spoilers. 5 out of 5. I really can't get that much into non-spoilers because it's the third book in the series. So yeah. Main characters' names are Asha and Reese, who happen to still be on Carenza 4. The planet that was invaded by Bitech people. We still have survivors out there. So yeah, it takes place with these two couples and how their story merges in with our previous characters, Katie, Ezra, Hannah, and Nick. And hey, just for the heck of it, let's throw in Ella because she plays a huge part in this book as well. So yeah. This book's about with people on Carenza 4 and people that are on the Hypatia trying to figure out how to get back to the planet because they're running low on supplies, and the best thing to do is to get back to Carenza 4. And how we end up at the hearing for the trials that's been going on for so long. So yeah. That's as far as I can get into non-spoilers, like I said. For those of you who are major sci-fi fans, start out with the Illuminate, read it, get Gemina, read it, and hurry up and get your Obsidio because it is like, oh my god. So yeah, that's as far as I can get to non-spoilers. So, bye non-spoilers! Spoilers. Okay, so like I said, main characters is named Reese and Asha. Asha is Katie's cousin, who we believed in book 1 was dead. Well, she's not dead. She's still alive, people. And we have Reese, who's a member of the Bitech Corporation, but he's just a tech dude who's working on the jump ship that was damaged during the previous invasion. So, the dude hasn't been on Carenza 4 just yet because apparently this op that was supposed to take like 2 weeks turns into 7 months. And so he has to go down to work some technical difficulties, right? His first moment with the rebels is when they blow up the ship that he's riding on. So yeah. Well, like Oshiro, who is the person who's supposed to be watching him, she always like says, "Welcome to Carenza, Cherry," and he's part of a group who's underneath the watch of Christy, who's the squad leader. And then we have Asha, Katie's cousin, who was supposed to be a pharmacy intern, but now she's part of the rebels, the rebellion, and everything. So they're just like doing your simple guerrilla warfare tactic by making the stay of Bitech people very uncomfortable. And she's been hiding a little girl named Katya since the invasion because Bitech killed all the people that were unimportant to keeping the mines running, or medical or electrical or all that stuff. Like, sorry if you're a teacher, you're kind of screwed in that. So when Asha sees Reese for the first time, first of all, Reese had no clue Asha was on Carenza 4, and Asha hates his guts. I'm like, what could have happened between these two to make it so terrible? You know what I mean? So, while that's going on Carenza 4, we're back with the Mao and the Hypatia, who, after the destruction of the Heimdall, are trying to figure out the next move, and the logical thing is to go back to Carenza. Aiden. Okay, I know I've been saying a lot of bad things about Aiden through this whole book, this whole series, but in this book, I'm like, Aiden needs a body now, okay? Please, Aiden needs a body. I'm like, because when Katie finds out her dad is still alive and she goes to go see him when everyone's getting onto the Mao, you meet Hannah, of course, And then, like, Aiden's, like, commenting to himself, like, how she still holds him after leaving Ezra and stuff. And, like, he's starting to get emotional, people. We have an AI that's getting emotional. So, Katie's dad makes it through everything. And now we have so many people on the Mao. We have this one dude named Garver who is questioning command, saying, maybe he should be in charge and everything. That these kids, who have been saving the day practically, some even helped stop the universes from blowing up. I mean, hello. He's saying that they shouldn't be part of this. He should, be a part of command and everything. And no one trusts Aiden. It's like, woo! So, everyone believes that they should go back to Carenza, see if they can help and everything. And so, we have too many people on it. And while in discussion, like, Aiden gets to meet Ella and everything, he foretells, like, something that happens with, in statistics and everything. And you can tell that Aiden's acting more human, because he mentions how he gets jealous when Katie's with Ezra and how he, like, is happy when she's with him. But he made the calculations and figured out that they would be dead 4 days before reaching Carenza because of all these people and everything. And he talked to Ella, like I said, for telling something that was about to happen and say, you better have your knife sharpened. Well, Aiden mentions how there's this little baby girl named Hypatia, and how he was sad that, the Hypatia that he knew for so long was destroyed. Well, when this girl's parents gotta go up to go use the restroom, he basically tricks them into going upstairs because he doesn't want to see another Hypatia die. He even says how much, like, he cares for this Hypatia and doesn't want to see another Hypatia gone. And so Aiden, even though he's a machine, artificial intelligence stuff, he makes the logical decisions that are too difficult that will weigh on a person's conscience. He does this because during his transmissions, he's always saying a story needs a hero, its villain, and a monster. Well, he has to be this monster making realistic choices. I know I sound like I'm defending Aiden for all this stuff, but seriously, he does what was right to secure the people who are now on the Mao, and he kills a good amount of people, but in doing so, he ensures their survival. I mean, of course, Bull, who's in charge right now, doesn't like that, and so she tells Katie to shut him down, and Katie's, like, very heartbroken, and I was like, no, not Aiden. So, back on Carenza, we get to actually see more of the people that invaded Carenza, the Biotech crew. You get the typical jerks, the assholes that are like, we're following orders or everything. But we get to see to Christie's team, all the soldiers that Reese gets to meet. It's like you get to see the human side of them as well. How much they really don't want to be here. How they talk about their old lives. What they're kind of thinking about in the future and everything. You just see them as human beings in a way sometimes. But they're also doing their job. So, because Reese makes a report to Christie how when he was with this other group of soldiers and how they saw a little girl and saying that she wasn't on the registry and they just kill her. He calls this like an act of violation to like human rights and everything, and of course Christie gets all pissed off and everything. But you can see how it's like cracks into the soldiers. I'm like, wow, this is what I find this book more terrifying than the previous ones. I mean, because in the first one you have, of course, the people of Biotech chasing them, but you also have the Phobos virus, the one that turned people into crazed, like, psychotic psycho zombies that are going all creepy on you. And then in Gemina, you have the creepy slime alien creatures that want to suck off your face. But no, this is human nature that we're up against. So that's more terrifying than anything, because with human nature, you have no clue what people are about to do. For example, Garver, who I've disliked this entire book, no matter how many times he has redemption arcs, he plans mutiny. He plans to overtake the Mao, and I'm like, oh my god. I was in the library reading this book. I was like, reading it. And then when that happens, I'm like, I can't scream in the library, people, or I'll probably get kicked out. So he plans a mutiny and kills the captain. I don't know if it was accidental or anything, but I was like, oh my, this is what happens when people are afraid, especially if something that's known to have killed people before. But Aiden warned this, so even though Katie has shut him down, she sends a message to Ella saying we need to get, Aiden back online. Which I kind of like this part in the book because I don't know if I can find it, but the cameras and everything are off, so we have no clue what's going on at the moment. But Nick, Hannah, and Ezra, they haven't been captured or anything. Oh, found it. So we get little illustrations from Hannah. I'm like, little comic strips on what's going on. This is like one of my favorite parts of this entire book. Like, so we get like this huge action scene going on. I loved it so much. And then Ella turns Aiden back on and he saves the day. Come on. But then when we get to Carenza, we gotta ask these mutineers for help again. I was like, can we just kill him? Please? But apparently we need, assistance. Everything. So back in Carenza, Asha's group says you need to somehow convince Reese to be on our side. What? The backstory on this, I liked it more because it felt like you can actually connect to Asha in a way, because we knew how Ezra and Katie knew each other, how they had this long history and were broke up the day of the invasion, and we knew how Nick and Hannah met because he was her dealer and everything. But Reese and Asha had this rich history together, and how she ended up on one side of the universe and how he ended up on the other side, and how they just automatically meet under these dire circumstances. I'm like, and even the guy who's been going through all of these records say Asha's the bravest out of everyone, because Katie's like this major hacker and Hannah is like this 3-time black belt in martial arts. But Hannah's your average girl, like me and everyone else who's been put in a situation she never asked for, and she has to do the unthinkable. Well, she manages to convince Reese to help, and they send out this transmission that luckily the Mao intercept, because first of all they get a command from Bitech, since the Mao was underneath mercenaries hired by Bitech, and they also get the transmission from the rebels on Carenza 4, and Katie finds out that her cousin is still alive, and they make this huge plan where I'm just like, oh my goodness. So we have maybe like a few ships on Mal to fight with. We have the rebels on Carenza, but we have this huge Bitech military that we're going up against, right? And Aiden, how he keeps saying to himself he's not what he used to be, but he tries anyway. I'm like, I'm all for Team Aiden now. Like, he has the best redemption ever. Okay, you're like, Sarah, he just killed like thousands of people. Well, I know, but he thinks things through. He told Katie, and he had to make a decision that would be too hard on anyone else. I mean, seriously. And there was one death that I was actually torn up about. I mean, because there's this character that goes by Duke. He's part of Reese's team. He's like the oldest guy. He had the best story when they're trading stories around the card game, and where Reese got his new nickname called Hustler. He was the most human out of everyone, I would say, between him, and then it'd be Oshiro, and then Christy, the commander that was like all being macho and an asshole who didn't want to be here as well, but in the end we find out how human he is. But the Duke is like the best friend that you would want to have. and everything. I mean, I loved him as a character. And oh my god. We're getting closer to the attack on the Mao showing up on Currents of 4. Reese had to go help Duke because he's known as sleeping in his Atlas suit, and he notices like how his helmet's all jacked up. It's like, Duke, how'd you even get toothpaste in here? The Duke is full of mysteries. He speaks like a third person most of the time. And it's like, at the time when this happened, Reese had to go to Asha, and then he meets the same assholes who killed the little girl. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, I probably did, but Asha's been looking after a little girl named Katya since the invasion, who's been going around in the airfins and everything, which is like a major theme. Even Nick says, if I see another airfin, it'll be all too soon. So, yeah, the Biotech people are about to catch Katya when Asha saves her, and that's where I mentioned how she's the most human out of all of us because she has no training whatsoever, and she hits someone upside the head with a chair, and Reese saves the day by killing them, right? Well, while he's dumping the bodies and the medical people are cleaning up all the blood, the Duke is back at the barracks. Well, previously, some Thermax had gone missing, and people think someone in the rebellion's been doing these things off-grid without anyone knowing. And it's like, no! Duke! When he sees Bruno, a member of Asha's group, who keeps saying he'll see his wife again soon because he knows she got away, but apparently she didn't. She died, and he never told anyone. So here he is with his cart rigged up with bombs. I'm like, and the Duke is talking to to Reese at the same time, and his last words are like hustler, and then it goes dead. I'm like, no! Out of everyone else could have died. I loved Duke so much. Oh my god. It's like you can tell how upset I am. The one death that I didn't see coming a million miles away was the Duke's, and I felt so terrible. And this is where the plan gets weird because Reese shows up with Christy and Oshiro. They grab Asha because he tells them that she's part of the rebellion, and he gets her palm pad, which has every single information on them. And he says to get it to the people that are working on the jump ship so they can hack through and see what's going on. And they're going to go interrogate Asha. I'm like, he turned on her! I'm like, oh my god! That son of a bitch! You and Asha were making progress out of the whatever happened to y'all in the past. All understandings, the terrible breakup, everything that terrible happened to Asha, y'all were getting back together. I'm like, whoa! Major right turn. We did a major 180 here. I was like, I know the guy who's been going through all these files saying, this is why I say they're not going to make it. Dude, you're right. I am ready for Reese to die. And the Mao is on its way. We have Garver's team with Hannah and the new commander, Winifred, who was like commander of Ezra, preparing. We got Katie and Ella and Aiden ready. And we have Ezra, who's with Nick, because he chose him as a gunner. And we're getting ready for this major battle. I swear, this major battle, it's like the last 100 pages or so, but it just goes by fast. I'm like holding my chest, going through the pages, hoping that people make it out. But we have the Churchill that is still active, ready, because they got through the palm head evidence and everything. Oh my god. But this is where I get confused, because this was all part of the plan. When did they go through this? Because I was like, what just happened? Because while the people in the Churchill, are going through this, Ella, who's planted Aiden into the programming to take over the guns and everything, make sure the Malfighters have a chance. And it's like, that was the best part ever. I mean, because we have Ella going through being a little spider that she is, going through the circuitry and everything. And this was my favorite part in this entire book. Because you know how Aiden's been talking about how there needs to be a hero, a villain, and a monster in this story? The monster is me. I was jumping up and down going, Aiden needs a body, people. He deserves a body because he tells Katie how much he finally gets to say, "I love you" to Katie, and you can see how he even says, "I am not afraid," but he has the line through the knot, and he says, "I am afraid." Yeah, people are like an AI feeling, that's a bad thing. No. I'm just like, whoa. And then Reese breaks off from his team and he goes to grab Asha because this was the whole part of their plan. Oh my god. But they gotta go look for Katya now. So, and then it just gets crazy. Aiden's being spread too thin. He's starting to malfunction. Son, who's in charge of this whole operation, tells the people on the Churchill to evacuate so they can get to the Kenyatta, who's been orbiting around space, who's fully operational still. Then we have Hannah's team, where Garver, the asshole that he is, who's with Winifred, tells everyone to surrender, while Hannah, her mentor, and another girl who's good at hacking, has to try to get control of the jump ship. Everything revolves around this. And we got the rebels who are now fighting back. Christy's holding everything he can against them. It's like chaos. Whoa. But apparently the whole thing was part of the plan when Hannah and her crew get control of the jump ship and saying, like, Team 1, this is bait. It worked. It was part of the plan. They surrender. I don't like him still. Garver is the last person I care about in the series. If he were to die, I wouldn't shed a single tear. So, it just gets crazy from there. Because we have, like, Ezra and his team providing cover on the ground for the rebels, but then they're getting chased by the enemy ships, everything. We got the people down on Corinza fighting back. We can't find Katya anywhere, and Asha and Reese are going very worried. Katie's planning, like, do a kamikaze with the Mal because their stations are down. They have one nuke, but they can't launch it or anything, and they tell Hannah this. And what's worse is that Ezra and Nick's ship gets... Oh my god! I was like, no! I swear I'm showing a lot of pictures on this right now. But it just gets crazy. I mean... Just let me see if I can find it. One moment, people. Because, with the Kayenta now fully operational, destroying the Churchill, the soldiers on the ship are now attacking, and Ezra's losing people left and right, and then all of a sudden, him and Nick are locked on! And I'm like freaking out! And then this happens! It's falling apart. This happens! Target locked, and Katie screaming at Ezra, and down there, Chimera 1 destroyed. That was Ezra and Nick's ship. I'm like, they just not to do that! So here's Katie ready for the suicide mission. When we find out Aiden, who is now so small compared to what he was to begin with, transferred everything to the Churchill. And he tells Katie he loves her. And he says he's sorry for everything. And when she said, you made a promise that you would listen to the captain, and I'm the effing captain, and I say you're not to die, and he says, I lied, and he makes sure this is for her survival, and he collides in with the Kayenta. I'm like, no, Aiden! And it just gets worse from there, because down on the ground, Katya has found Asha, and Reese find her, but she sees the woman that's protecting her, and she makes a run for Asha, while everyone's trading fire. I'm like, oh my god. And right now Christy is dead, but you saw the human side that I was talking about, how he said he has pets at home, he's worried about his sister and everything, and that everyone, Biotech members, have been feeding their little mascot, which is like a little black cat, and he's been like, turning the other cheek, making sure you're like, oh, I really want to see the cat. He saves the cat right before he gets blown up. I'm like, what? And we also get transmission from other Biotech members that are saying, like, one guy is saying he wishes his son never becomes a soldier. A girl who wanted to go to the Biotech university to study theater. A woman that's been actually holding all this information to use against her superiors when this is done. Go away. Go away. And everything And then here we have Oshiro, who's telling her people to stop firing, as well as Reese, and Katsuya is running in the middle of all of this. And then she gets shot! I'm like, 3 deaths! And everything, oh my god. But it all gets solved out. Because, Reese and Asha go to Katsuya, and Asha screaming all these things out that Oshiro's father, who is this great spokesperson, spoke about peace and everything, reminding her of her father, and she sends her 2 best medics that are still alive to go help Katsuya, right? Katie and the Mao and Ella are all together, they're still intact. And then you have this running gag that's been going on ever since everyone transferred to the Mao. And I'm like, I totally forgot about this. Like, Sarah, what gag? Well, everyone kept telling Nick that you do know we're going to be fighting in space, right? And this was my fave. This was the best ending before we get back to the trial, right? And it's like, it's from a webcam from a dead soldier, and you see someone floating from the sky and everything. And let me read it. A few moments pass in silence before a soft groan is heard. You alright? I think so. You mocked me. All of you! You mocked! You know you're flying in space, right? Who's laughing now, babyface? Everyone's been calling Ezra babyface. I told you not to call me that! The wind blows the fabric off the lens, revealing 2 young men in UTA flight suits sprawled in the snow. The first one rises with a groan, dusts the snow off his cargoes, and as he turns, offers his hand to the second and drags him up. We see the bedsheet isn't a bedsheet at all. Yeah, I know, says Nick. I'm effing incorrigible. It's a parachute. The running gag is that Nick found this parachute and he's been wearing it this whole entire time. And everyone keeps saying, you do know you're in space and everything. They've been mocking him, they've been doubting him. Well, the ship that they're on got destroyed. Eject! And they floated down in a parachute. I bet you they're gonna add that into the handbook now. So, finally, we get back to the court. We find out that with the jump ship that needed still repairs, they went to another planet that was farther in the solar system that happened to, give them assistance and everything. And the House of Knives gave them a reputation where when the Bitech Corporation needed people to clean things up, they were hired. So I was like, the best entrance ever. It's like we always believed that Hannah was on comms with the the people, the trial. Go away. And everything. Well, thousands of people show up outside the courtroom and they're like, wondering why are they here? Because they want to hear the verdict. Ah, Miss Grant, I see you changed your hair. Well, pink would have given me away. And everything. And then we say, oh, I believe that's Ezra right there. Sup? And Miss Donnelly, hi. And Nick, I must say that mustache does not work with you. I'm in disguise. Everyone from Carenza and the Mao are there. All thousands surviving witnesses, along with the Illuminate files, are there. Cue the what was it called? Shawarma from Avengers, because Ella mentioned this early on about this awesome place to eat. They're all there celebrating, and they say on the TV that Bitech is found guilty and all these charges are being pressed against them. Garber's new book is coming out. Oshiro is speaking about what happened on Carenza. And then, of course, Katsuya is still alive and everything. And everyone's getting ready, they're just teenagers. We remember that at the very end, and they're getting ready to do their everyday life. And I'm like, that's the best ending ever, but it even gets better. Look, Sarah, how's that better? I shall read. Someplace fine and far from here, I watch them go. Maybe skip it. I love her. Error. I know I miss her. Error. I know very little. Safe. Perhaps. This. That every story needs its monster. And that everybody deserves a second chance. And that I am Aiden. Aiden's alive! Cause the jump ship that everyone needed, he had planted like a little seedling of himself in there, and he's slowly growing back. I'm like, Aiden! So no one important died. Well, Duke died, but he lived. I'm like, oh, Aiden! If y'all were to make a novella, please do it about Aiden. And this is the best picture ever. Everyone is together, and the goldfish. The Illuminate group, established in the year whatever. It's like, oh! 5 out of 5 stars, people. This series was just a huge roller coaster. I lost so many hearts to this. If this was a video game, I would have died like on level 3. 1 heart for each book. Because, oh my god. We had the major sci-fi aspects on this one, but on the previous 2, but in this one is more human, more where you can connect more with everyone, and I was like more attached to this. I admit it has slow roll, but it built up. It was like the spark, the ember that started the fire for this one. It was just amazing. I mean, of course, Reese and Asha get back together because this was the whole plan this whole entire time. It's like, and Katie and Ezra together, Hannah and Nick, who had this huge difficulty because they cared for the other dimensional self, but they said no matter what the feelings I have for that other self, I have for you, so they work it out and they're together. Ella and Nick are being watched after by Isaac Grant, Katie's father and everything. But Tick is taken down. Yes. And everyone survived. I'm like, this is the best happy ending ever. This is my Disney ending right here, people. Oh, this better hurry up and get turned into a movie. I mean, I swear, if that day happens, I am going to be making my own t-shirt. I'm going to go to the movies wearing a t-shirt with Illuminate. I'm going to probably have like all these favorite quotes and everything I have in there. I love this series. I really wish, though, that we had gotten to meet the guy who has to go through all of these files and making his little comments and everything. That would have been amazing to find out who he really was. He does need to get paid, and he does need a raise, and he does need a vacation and everything. So, yeah. That was Obsidio, the Illuminate file, number 3, as it's here, but also known as the Illuminate files. Yeah, first book is Illuminate, second book is Gemina, and this is the last book. I loved it. Best sci-fi series I have read thus far. And it's, yeah. I love this. This is like now one of my number 1 favorite series. One of my favorite series now. And that's as far as I can get into it. Here are the other books on the back of the screen. And for those of you who got the special edition, like the special version from Barnes & Nobles, it came with a poster. Sorry, it came with a poster of the ships. So, yeah. 5 out of 5 stars. Terrific ending! Very terrific. I loved how it all wrapped up and how everyone got their endings. I am like, you can see I'm over the moon that Aiden is still alive. Yeah, he deserves a body. If y'all were ever able to make a novella, he should get his happy ending, put him in a body. Like Sarah, putting an AI in a body never worked well for anyone. But please, Aiden needs part of their lives. I would love that so much. So yeah. Obsidio, Book 3 in the Illuminate trilogy by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So yeah. My name is Sarah, and bye!